to come. Hold it in the sun. Don't know what you got till it's gone. Hold it in the sun. All of the best yet to come. Throwing open all the gutters wide. Not gonna miss a thing. Nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well before we break.
Welcome to the locker room. I'm Nancy, and I'm having a bad hair day, but that's all right. Okay, so we are going to talk about poor little Emmanuel Haro. I mean, the case has been going on for quite a while, and the dad, Jake Haro, said he did it, then he said he didn't do it. Then he said he'd take him to the place where he was at, and then he couldn't find him at the place where he was at, and all this stuff. And he got, for the first time, he got sentenced to 160 days in jail. And then he got let out if he promised the judge that he wouldn't do any more, break any more crimes or anything like that. Well, then poor little baby Emmanuel was abused and abused and abused, and sadly he's not with us today. So we're going to go over the story a little bit. I don't have all the details because it was a trigger for me. I don't know why, but just that story, I've kind of tried to avoid it because I wanted to learn it all at one time. I've just heard little bits and pieces here and there. And then today I got the copy of the amended felony paperwork. So I thought we'd go over it. And I got a lot of my information off of X. Excuse me. And let's get to it. All right. This is from Matt Thibodeau on X. He is a good person. He is really a good person. It says, hashtag Jake Haro will be sentenced tomorrow, November 3rd, which is today, and he should have gotten sentenced around 2 o'clock. Now, I didn't see that. So it'll probably come up on another video tomorrow or later today or something like that, but not from me. We'll have to, maybe Matt Thibodeau will put a video up. Okay, for the crimes he committed against his son, Emmanuel Haro, the DA's office is asking for 31 years to life. And the PD's office is asking for 15 years. Deputy PD Allison Lowe believes Jake should get a lighter sentence for cooperating and admitting guilt at an early stage in the case. Now, let's look at the YouTube video of what Matt Thibodeau has to say about this. It's a short little video, a YouTube short. Oh, please. Let me put it up here. Now you can see. Okay.
Remember, he has pleaded guilty to second-degree MURDER, assault on a child
Can
under
you
the
hear
age
it?
of 8 that resulted in that child's death, as well as falsely filing a police report. We are learning that the Riverside County District Attorney's Office is going to be seeking at minimum a 31-year sentence for Jake Haro and at maximum life in prison. The Public Defender's Office, however, is asking that Jake Haro be sentenced to 15 years in prison. Deputy Public Defender Allison Lowe believes that Jake should be given a lighter sentence because he admitted guilt so early on in the case, and that because he's been cooperating, he should be given the minimum sentence. Now, second degree MURDER convictions result in 15 years to life in prison, whereas assault on a child under the age of 8 resulting in that child's death is between 25 years to life in prison. But remember, the DA's office said that the MURDER and the assault were part of the same act, and under California law, quote, a defendant can be sentenced on only one charge if one act resulted in convictions on multiple charges. Assistant District Attorney Brandon Smith with the Riverside County District Attorney's Office said, quote, there is nothing in the law or before this court that should lead a sentencing judge to believe that this man deserves anything but the maximum sentence allowed by law. And because Emmanuel Haro passed away due to long-term abuse, according to what investigators have pieced together, he believes that Jake Haro should get the longest prison sentence. On top of that, he also proposed that Jake Haro first be sentenced to 6 years in prison for violating his probation. Remember, back in 2023, Jake Haro pleaded guilty to abusing his daughter so badly in 2018 that she is now handicapped. He was ordered to serve 180 days in custody, and a 6-year prison term was suspended as long as he did not commit any other crimes. And as we know, he clearly committed another crime against his son Emmanuel. So we'll see what ends up going down tomorrow. You know I'll keep you updated, so make sure you're following me. Remember, Jake Haro will have an opportunity to admit what he did and to admit where Emmanuel is tomorrow. Do you think he'll do it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hey guys, so
Okay, so that's the from Matt Thibodeau, the Jake Haro part of the situation. So we're up to speed on that. Okay. Next, we're going to see what Duchess of Meme. I've never heard of her, but she is talking about Rebecca Haro. This would be Emmanuel's mother. And I don't see how all of these same people can be this woman right here. I mean, she looks like she got beaten. She's got a big old black eye. Okay, it says Rebecca Haro is the monster, but let's take a minute and look at her old photos. This is what domestic violence and God knows what else does to one's body. Okay, there we go. She was beautiful. She put her makeup on. She was beautiful. She got braces. She was beautiful. And all this time being abused. And this is what she looks like. She looks to me like she's put on about 30 pounds. And yeah, she got a bump in the eye. It's just that's just really sad. Really sad. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next. I wish it would just flip over when I change screens, but it won't. I have to pull every single one of them up. There's the links to them if you want to go look at them more are in my description. Okay, and this is from Legacy. I've never heard of her either. She is at I am Legacy 23. Okay, so August 27th. She says, I don't care what anyone says. Baby Emmanuel Haro's death was preventable. Once again, the system failed. A judge failed to do their due diligence and gave a break to an abuser. Emmanuel never got a break. He never got a chance. His opportunity at life was stolen from him forever. Look at that beautiful baby laying there sleeping. He looks like he couldn't do anything wrong in the world. He's so innocent. All right. But we don't know what was behind the scenes. We don't know. I mean, we can speculate. Okay. And this is also from Legacy because she's talking about Rebecca again. It says Emmanuel Haro suffered a prolonged period of abuse and died from injuries. That's what the DA said. With that said, I have zero compassion for Rebecca Haro. She was the one pushing the fake kidnapping story, trying to throw everyone off. Look over there. Don't look over there. Diverting. She chose to protect a man over her own baby. Really? I don't care if she was in a domestic violence situation. Your child comes first, always. Her job was to protect her 7-month-old baby, not cover for the monster who red rummed him and is still standing by and still stands by him. See, okay, I don't know if I can pull this. Okay, yay, you can see it. Okay, it says jail information management system. The data can. That must be CJ coming in. Something shook my whole side of my house. Rebecca Renee Haro, female, white, 2-3 of 84. She's 41 years old. Brown hair, brown eyes, 5'1", 160 pounds. Arrested date 8/22/25 at 7:28. San Bernardino Sheriff, Ramona Street, California. Booked in date was the same. Her case number, no bail. Riverside warrant. Current facility, Robert Presley Detention Center Housing Unit. Next court date, 8/26/25. Court name, Riverside Hall of Justice. And this was typed up by, it's a felony, red rum with malice. So, yeah. All right. Now we're going to get into the amended felony complaint that has been sealed. It was a sealed court document and it has recently been unsealed. So let's look at this. There's actually only 4 pages, but there's 5 pages to it. One of them is just I agree this is a warrant. Now, I don't know what, let me see if I can do this. Okay, that didn't make it any bigger. If you're on your computer, maybe, or your phone, maybe you can push up the screen bigger, or if you're on your television set at home, maybe you can see it there, but I'll read it to you. Cop car rolls over suspected. Cop car ran over a suspect. Okay. Okay, it says cash bond recommended. DEF number $1 million. DEF number 1 in custody 8/26/25. DEF number 2 $1 million. DEF number 2, that's defendant, in custody 8/26. Michael Hestron, District Attorney, Superior Court of California, County of Riverside. And this was filed on October 16th by Jenny Barber. Superior Court of California, County of Riverside. The people of the state of California are the plaintiff. Jake Michael Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro are the defendants. The DA and the case number, and it says amended felony complaint. Count 1. The undersigned, under penalty of perjury upon information and belief, declares that the above-named defendants, Jake Michael Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro, committed a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Subdivision a felony in that on or about August 5th, 2025, through and including August 14th, 2025, in the county of Riverside, state of California. The defendants did willfully and unlawfully red rum baby doe, EH, that would be Emmanuel, a human being, okay? And then we'll go to page 2. Okay. And this says, it's still the same case number, says count 2, that the above named defendants, Jake Michael Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro, committed a violation of Penal Code Section 148.5, Subdivision A, misdemeanor in that on or about August 5th through and including August 14th in the county of Riverside, state of California. The defendants did willfully and unlawfully report to a police officer, deputy sheriff, and member of the California Highway Patrol that a felony and misdemeanor had been committed, knowing that report to be false. That's when they claimed that he was abducted and went with that story and caused a big hoopla about it. Okay. Count 3, that the above named defendants, Jake Michael Haro, committed a violation of Penal Code Section 273 AB, Subdivision A felony in that on or about August 5th, 2025, through and including August 14th, 2025, in the county of Riverside, state of California. The defendants, having the care and custody of baby doe, EH, a child under 8 years of age, did willfully and unlawfully assault said child by means of force that to a reasonable person would be likely to produce great bodily injury, resulting in death of said child, 25-L. Okay, so that's the counts that we're on. Now we're going to go to the aggravating factors. Okay? And it is further alleged the offense was carried out with planning, sophistication, and professionalism within the meaning of California Rules of Court Rule 4.2 or 4.21A8. Okay, so they abused the baby with sophistication and professionalism, like they knew what they were doing. And it is further alleged the victim, baby doe, EH, was particularly vulnerable within the meaning of California Rules of Court, Rule 4.421A3. Well, of course he was vulnerable. At 7 months old, he couldn't fight back. He couldn't walk away. And it is further alleged, wonder if I can, there we go. Now you can read. I'm sorry. The offense was carried out with planning, sophistication, and professionalism with the meaning of California rule. Okay, we read that one. And it is further alleged that the defendant, Jake Michael Haro, prior performance while on probation, mandatory supervision, post-release, community supervision, and parole, to wit, was unsatisfactory within the meaning of California Rules of Court, Rule 4.421B5. Okay, so that's page 2. Now we're going to go on to page 3. All right. And this is the same case number, same filing date. And it is further alleged the defendant, Jake Michael Haro, was on probation, mandatory supervision, post-release community supervision. It looks like I read this paragraph on the other page. Okay. And parole, to which, when the crime was committed within the meaning of California rules, court rule 4.421B4. And it is further alleged the victim, baby Doe, was particularly vulnerable within the meaning of California rules. And it is further alleged the defendant, Jake Michael Haro, took advantage of a position of trust and confidence to commit the crime within the meaning of California rules of court rule 4.421A11. The 1109 notice. Pursuant to section 1109 of the Evidence Code, evidence of the defendant's commission of other acts of domestic violence may be admissible at trial in a criminal action in which the defendant or defendants is or are accused of an offense involving domestic violence. The people hereby give notice of the people's intent to admit evidence of prior acts of domestic violence pursuant to Evidence Code Section 1109. These incidents include the prior incidents subscribed in the police report, chronological report, and or tapes already provided, and other alleged incidents of abuse, which will be provided as they are obtained by the prosecution. Okay, so that's what they were talking about with the older child, the daughter, that they abused to the point where she has to have 24/7 she can't be away from anybody. She can do nothing for herself. That poor child, she's in a wheelchair all the time. Somebody has to stay with her 24/7. She has to be fed with a feeding tube. And the life that she is forced to live, even though she is alive, is just a life of making her comfortable, because there's no way she might be able to smile, laugh at something, but I don't know. I don't think she'll ever be able to actually talk. Okay, Mary's Law. Information contained in the reports being distributed and discovery in the case may contain confidential information protected by Mary's Law and the amendments to the California Constitution, Article 1, Section 28. Any victim or victims in any above referenced charge or charges is entitled to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse. It may be unlawful for defendant or defendant's defense counsel and any other person acting on behalf of the defendant or defendants to use any information contained in the report to locate or harass any victim or the victim's families, or to disclose any information that is otherwise privileged and confidential by law. Okay, so that's page 3. This is page 4, and this is it. I declare under penalty of perjury upon information and belief under the law of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct, dated October 14th, 2025. Okay, so it was filed on the 16th, but it was dated on the 14th. Okay, and this is the district attorney and the assistant district attorney, who I would suppose would have to manually put their signatures on the paper. Okay, and next we're going to look at the amended part. The people have alleged in court or courts blank that the offense was carried out with planning, sophistication, or professionalism. Okay, that was part of the original. Okay, but it's saying which court they're going to be in. Okay. To provide this allegation, the people must prove that the defendant's manner of committing the crime involved planning, sophistication, or professionalism. That means it has to be premeditated, I presume. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer. I've heard premeditated so many times in so many court cases that I've watched on TV that I feel like it was done with malice and premeditation. Whether the manner of committing the crime involved planning, sophistication, or professionalism depends on the totality of the circumstances surrounding the offense. They're trying to say if it wasn't pre-planned and it was just an action of crime or action of an outburst or something like that, that it shouldn't be allowed or something. I don't know. I think they're trying to say it needs to be looked at another way. Planning refers to conduct before the crime, preparing for its commission. Sophistication refers to conduct demonstrating knowledge or awareness of the complexities or details involved in committing the crime. Professional refers to conduct demonstrating particular experience or expertise. It's like where you can harm somebody, but you don't leave bruises or marks, but they're still hurt just as bad. Because you can injure them in areas where they're not the marks are not going to be seen unless somebody completely does disrobes the child or whatever. So yeah, okay. Now I could be totally way off on those definitions, but it's. I wonder if it's on YouTube somewhere. No, I don't want to leave the site. Come over here. Okay. No, that's Matt Thibodeau, but it's a different story. Let me see if I can. Wait a minute. Jake Haro pled guilty to red rumming his son Emmanuel. Okay, Rebecca was in court 5 days ago. Hello, H. Davis. How are you doing today? Okay. It says that the court case is at 2 o'clock. It's rescheduled now for 4 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time or 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm doing very well, thank you. So we won't know what happened in court until probably tomorrow. Um, okay, that says Gacy. Let me pull this one. Hold still. I'm gonna. Okay, this I'm gonna put the link in the description. And this is from Court TV. Okay. I'll raise it up. And now we'll listen.
Last night from Big Five, somebody struck my wife while she was trying to change his diaper.
It's appropriate to have a press conference because it was the defendants in this case that had a press conference first. And they did so in order to tell the public, the media, and ultimately law enforcement that their child had been kidnapped, when in fact that's not what occurred.
You did willfully and unlawfully murder baby doe, and it shows EH, a human being.
Defendant Jake Haro pleading guilty, admitting to murdering his son, baby Emmanuel. But the 7-month-old's remains still not found. So where is he? And will we ever find out? Plus, a Family Matters star in court acting like an attorney. We'll show you the video that is swirling around online. Also this hour, what the jury won't get to know in the hot car dad trial for defendant Christopher Schultes, as we remember his beautiful 2-year-old daughter Parker this morning. Plus, we're looking ahead to convicted killer Bianca Ellis's sentencing as her defense attorneys join us live here on the show. It's all coming up next for you right here on Opening Statements.
We're not going to watch all of them. We're only going to watch. That's really. Is it really loud to you? It's really loud to me. Okay. We're only going to watch the part about Jake Haro because the other ones we're not following those. I'm not following those stories. We might get into them later because I didn't even know they existed.
Good Friday morning to you, my friends. Welcome to Opening Statements. I'm Julie Grant. It's going to be a great day, and we've got a great show to get your day started. Grab that cup of coffee right now. It's time for my opening statement. It's about time. It's about time that criminals start taking responsibility for their crimes. Jake Haro is the most recent criminal to do just that, as Haro pleaded guilty to the murder of his 7-month-old baby, Emmanuel. With his plea, California tax dollars are saved, time and resources are conserved, and his case proceeds straight to sentencing on November 3rd. I have got to respect that. I certainly don't respect what he did, but I respect the fact that he didn't continue with the charade that he had started back in August when baby Emmanuel was reported missing. This guy owned up to his atrocious behavior and accepted legal responsibility, which is commendable. I just hope that before he heads off to prison for hopefully the rest of his life, that'll help investigators find baby.
Look at that beautiful baby. Look at that. Did Emmanuel have a little bit of Down syndrome? Does anybody know? Because he looks like he did, and the older sister has the same facial features. So that could be from the abuse that the poor baby had to suffer. I just don't know.
Emmanuel, to bring that child home for a proper burial and to have a proper gravesite. That precious little angel didn't stand a chance. And I pray that he's resting peacefully up in heaven with the angels now. That's my opening statement on this Friday morning. Let me know if you like it. Right now, it's time for your daily docket.
Did you notice anything about their clothing, the clothing worn by the group of people that Liam was with?
They were all wearing.
Okay, she's gonna. I guess we gotta listen to this.
Similar, if not matching, t-shirts and or sweatshirts that show that they were part of the Dublin Fire Brigade.
In Massachusetts, we've got the accuser in the rape trial for Irish firefighter Terrence Crosby returning to the witness stand today. Court is set to get underway at 9 a.m. Eastern. We're going to monitor that one close to you and go in live when we can. In Wisconsin, we've got closing arguments in the Crossfire murder trial for defendant Parise Larry. This young man is 16 years old, 14 at the time of the incident in question. He took the stand yesterday. This morning, we'll hear those arguments at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And we're gearing up for our next live trial for you in Florida. Jury selection beginning Monday in the murder trial for defendant Alicia Andrews. She is accused in what we're calling the ambush shooting of rapper Julio Folio. That trial is set to start up soon. Andrews, one of 5 suspects who's accused in this case. Right now, let's turn to your top story this morning here on Opening Statements. That's little baby Emmanuel. His remains still nowhere to be found as his father, Jake Haro, pleads guilty to his murder. Haro sobbed in that California courtroom on Thursday as he admitted to abusing and murdering his defenseless baby.
How do you plead to the charge in count 1 of the amended felony complaint, a violation of Penal Code Section 187A?
I'm guilty.
And for clarification for the record, that's going to be in the 2nd degree?
Yes.
Sir, do you admit that you committed a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Subdivision A, a felony, in that on or about August 5th of 2025 through and including August 14th of 2025 in the county of Riverside, state of California, you did willfully and unlawfully murder baby Doe, initials EH, a human being?
I admit.
Now, Jake Haro's wife and baby Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca, was in court too. Remember, she's charged as well. She entered a plea of not guilty in this case, so no change for her. Now, the same day of Jake Haro's sentencing, November 3rd, Rebecca is set to have her preliminary hearing on the murder charges and the charge of filing a false police report. That stems from the defendant's falsified report of Emmanuel's abduction on August the 14th. Now, Rebecca Haro claimed that she was attacked in a parking lot while she was changing Emmanuel's diaper, claimed that she was beat up and he was taken, but we know that was not the case. So what comes next in the investigation? Is Rebecca going to trial? And will baby Emmanuel ever be brought home? Let's bring in our guests. I have with me private investigator with Black Ops, private investigator. She's also a military veteran and a veteran of the NYPD, Emmanuel Gomez, and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, David Bruno. Good morning to you both. Emmanuel, let me start with you, please. Your reaction to this guy pleading?
Well, Julie, I have to agree with you. I mean, thank God that he had the...
What's your thought on him pleading guilty? Do you think he actually did it, or do you think he was covering up for Rebecca, who actually did it? Or do you think they both did it? If I knew how to put a poll up, I'd put a poll up. That's a good question.
Final awareness to take this plea because the case was so against him, there was no way he was going to win. And it does save the public time and money. But do I believe this body is going to be found now? I have to say, Julie, no. But there are 2 possible locations. I've been doing a lot of research into this case. One, the baby could possibly be at the landfill that was near, not far from his home, because there was indications of him going to 2 different locations, dropping off bags in a dumpster. That's one location. But the second one was where he bought the baby, where he bought the cops, which was in that canyon area off the highway. Now, the problem with this is that if he did bury that baby, it was a shallow grave. There's coyotes, mountain lions, there's all type of carnivorous creatures that will eat that body and drag it off. So I think the possibility of us finding the remains is very bleak right now.
Manuel, thank you so much for that insight. You've given us such great insight since this news broke. David Bruno, I want to turn to you now. I want to share some of the details with this plea. Some of our courties were wondering, was this a straight up plea to the indictment or was there an agreement? No agreement here with the DA's office. He pleaded to all of the charges, and the judge will make the determination on the sentence. He's looking at a potential of 25 years to life in prison. So no agreement to charges, no agreement to sentence. David, you were a prosecutor. How rare in your experience is something like this where there's no deal to anything and somebody pleads very early on like this?
Extremely rare, because, our criminal justice system is set up for plea negotiations. When we talk about plea negotiations, typically there's a benefit to the bargain between one side and the other, because that otherwise, if everything just went to trial, there'd be just like a deadlock in all of our courts with the minimal resources, the scarce resources of our court.
You feel like, you feel like he did it himself? Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been following the case, and I admit I haven't, because it's a trigger warning. It's a trigger warning. I would hate to think of something like that happening to any of my children or my grandchildren, or, well, my grandchildren don't have children yet, thank goodness, but I'd hate to think of it happening to any of them. Any of them. So.
And that's the reason that plea bargaining is there.
She did. I know that she was responsible for putting up the lie about him being, sorry, Amanda says she did something, I think, in my opinion. She made the false story. So she should get something. Levi Smith just subscribed to us. Thank you, Levi. I hope you enjoy our information and the stories that we try to cover. Welcome to the locker room. All right, so yeah, she kept the abduction story going. So, and in my opinion, excuse me, if a woman's at a car, okay, and she's leaning in the back seat, changing the baby's diaper, whatever, okay, then she's about to put the baby back in the car seat so that she can get ready to leave. Okay, now I'm not the kind of person that's going to abduct somebody's child or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, I have enough grandkids to try to keep up with that I can't remember all their birthdays as it is now. I don't want to steal somebody else's kid. Okay. But then again, I'm old. So if I was going to do that, I would wait till the mother put the child back in the car seat, strapped him in the car seat. Then I'd beat the you-know-what out of the mother and I'd take her car. I mean, what else? You're going to just take a baby and run and not get caught? I think they must be neighbors to Dawn and Candace Wells, or to Sebastian's parents, not his dad, Chris and Katie. So yeah, but Jake pleaded guilty, and I think he's covering up partly for her too, because I think she probably did some of the abuse also, And why would she stay with him after she already mentally and physically handicapped the older child?
To push things through and be efficient in the courtrooms and avoid trials when we could. So generally speaking, these cases that don't go to trial do result in pleas. However, this prosecutor could have said there is no plea agreement, leaving him with no real option, honestly, except that I just wonder, was there a conversation about getting information about where the body was? We have talked about a similar situation in Kohberger, about the lack of motive and explanation from Kohberger. And in this case, I wonder if prosecutors were at the very least asking where the body was. And then final point, the wife. The wife's got her court date coming up, and we got to understand what's happening with the wife. I mean, is he exonerating her? Are they cutting her loose? Is she just pleading to the false reporting? So we have a number of questions still that remain. And then finally, how do we avoid this from happening again? Because this particular defendant had a prior incident in 2018 where he probably shouldn't even been let out to even commit this crime. Those are my points, Julie.
I agree 100% wholeheartedly.
That's so true, David. For anybody who might have missed the news on this guy, Jake Haro severely beat his baby girl a few years back so badly that she is permanently disabled from the beating that he inflicted on her. And he got a probationary sentence, which is disgusting. It's something that Emmanuel and I have talked about a lot on this program. And David, I know you agree, he shouldn't have been out. He was out, and he was able to have another son, and look what happened. But now he's not going to be out. He's gonna stay in for a long time. I hope the judge maxes him out on as many years as he can give him. David, you brought up Rebecca, so I want to talk about her. I have a clip for you both. I know you'll remember. This is a clip that went viral. This got the case on the national stage when these two held a little press conference, if you will, in California and pleaded for their son to be brought home.
We come to you guys asking you to help us find our son. He was abducted last night from Big 5. Somebody struck my wife while she was trying to change his diaper. And we just ask if anybody knows anything to please contact the Kaipa Police Department.
Don't hesitate, just call.
Weren't there cameras? They were outside of a Big 5 store. That's like a shopping center type store. Be like Walmart. You know, if you do something in Walmart parking lot, you're on camera. How can she make up a story like that and be on camera?
All right, I want to dig deep here on Rebecca because I'm just not sure about her. Manuel, let's talk here. We know that she had the shiner when she was, it was kind of hard to see in that video, but a black eye was visible on her when they were announcing that baby Emmanuel was taken and that she was accosted in this parking lot. There it is. Thank you to our awesome director, Matt Woolley, for popping up that. Okay, so look at that.
I think the whole she was beaten up story came from her covering for Jake because Jake was abusive to her as well. And she's afraid of Jake. So she was covering up for Jake, saying somebody else beat her up and took her child.
That doesn't look fresh, right? You know, we discussed this and we're going, that looks like that might have been there before.
You can tell because look, up around the top here, it's already green. And what does your bruise do? It goes black, it turns purple, and starts to shrink, and then it gets green around it. Just before all the blood is absorbed back into your bloodstream, it turns green and it looks horrid. And you cover it up with makeup. You don't put it out there for the world to see.
This incident when the baby was allegedly taken. Manuel, I wonder if Jake Haro was abusing Rebecca as well. When she was standing there with him, she looked terrified to me. And I wondered if she was afraid of what he may do if she speaks out.
Did you see how she was standing behind him? She's the baby's mother. Why isn't she up in front of him? And if he's really pleading for their son to be brought back, his arm would be around her, comforting her. I know if my husband and I were in this situation, my husband would be holding on to me. And you probably wouldn't see my face because it'd be buried in his side right here, crying. If it was even my adult children, I'd feel the same way. Trust me.
Here, I'm kind of wondering, is she not the guilty party here? What do you say?
Well, it's kind of a double-sided sword. She is and she isn't. She's a victim first. She's a victim of domestic violence and the victim of, in my opinion, professionally, is Stockholm syndrome. This man brainwashed her. She was beaten so much that she, did anything to survive herself and lied for him. And I think this is why she hasn't admitted guilt to anything, and she's still sticking to the same original lie. That's something to note right now. But those injuries, as we stated way back in the beginning of this case, Julie, and you and I were both agreeing that she is a victim of abuse and that this is what caused her to lie. And the problem is, I hope she not only gets sentenced, but I hope she really gets the help that she needs, Julie, because truly, she doesn't even fully aware of what she's still doing. Even though her husband admitted to everything, she's still sticking to the same lie that somebody stole her baby. This just shows you how mentally incapacitated this woman is.
That's a great point to end on. Emmanuel Gomez, thank you so much for that. I know we have to let you go. You have cases to solve. Thank you for spending time with us this morning. David's coming with us. We want you to do the same at home, please, when we come back. Here's what's still to come on opening statements. We are spotlighting the hot...
Okay. So that's where we stand with that right now. And in just about 5 minutes, the other case is supposed to start. And you're welcome to go to Court TV and watch it. Okay. Now, before I end my show, you see all this back here behind me in this chair? There is Goodwill finds and Christmas purchases and things like that. Let's see what we got. All right. To get it out of the way, I'm not going to open this because it is a Christmas gift, and I will open it to see what it looks like, see if I want to keep it for myself. Because they say the best gifts to buy somebody is something you want for themselves, for yourself. And I know what this is, and I've seen pictures of it, but I haven't seen it up close. I may still go ahead and give it as a gift and buy myself one. Because I think I'm going to really like it. All right. So, there's that. All right. The next thing I forgot to tell. Do y'all remember when my son got his electric guitar for his birthday? I got him this $65 guitar book for him to learn how to play it. Oh, you can't hear me because his bedroom is right there. All right. Then next, I found this kangaroo keeper because I have a purse that I really like carrying, but it doesn't have any pockets inside it. So if you put anything in it, everything goes to the purse monster. It's like you're just feeding the purse monster. So I got this to put inside there so I have separate pockets inside my purse. I hope it works. All right. Next, I got these. We take a lot of Alka-Seltzer at my house. And we're down to only one Alka-Seltzer cup. So I got these so that I can run them through my dishwasher and we'll have more Alka-Seltzer cups. And I got this for me because I want to learn how to do research better for my lives. So I have two of these books. One of them I'm already reading, and this tells how to do it on the internet. So hopefully my lives will get a lot better. This is a gift for a friend of mine, her husband. Look at this. I could wear it as a dress. I know he's going to love it because he likes 87. I can't tell you what his name is because I don't know. And my granddaughter likes 15, which is Mahomes. So the other one's, I think, Kelsey or Chelsea or whatever his name is. I don't know. But anyway, that's Bill's Christmas. Then next, oh, I got this so I can plug it in my living room and put, because the one I've got in there, I can only put one charger in and then one for my phone and then the other one for the vape batteries. So this one I've got will have 5 holes in it. Okay. Then this I got for my sister. It says, "Oh look, another glorious morning makes me sick," because she loves Hocus Pocus. And this is an alarm clock. The reason I got it is because the alarm clock that my dad had in his bedroom when he passed away is still in my bedroom, but the buttons have worn out to the point where you can't change the time. And it's set at Mountain Time Zone instead of Central Standard Time Zone. And I don't know how to change the time zone because that button don't work. These are weights that my doctor told me to get for my arm. I'm supposed to put my elbow on something and raise it up like that. And like this arm, see how I can bend it way back like that? I can't bend this arm back like that. I get my MRI on Wednesday. This is for my moderator because she loves Nightmare Before Christmas. And that's Jack Skellington in an avocado. Look, I got me a coffee cup. Isn't that gorgeous? I can probably put half a pot of coffee in there. What is this? Oh, it's a pair of pants for my husband. He's losing weight and his sweatpants he wore last year don't fit no more. And then this is a shot glass from Germany for the same guy who's getting the t-shirt. This is a pair of Hey Dudes for my friend's daughter. And this is another weight, but this is a 5-pound weight because my doctor says I'm supposed to actually do it this way. Like this. And then I'll be doing it from here up like that. I can't do it because it's too much weight, but I'm supposed to do it like that for that one. Okay. Next, this is going to be a Christmas gift for somebody special. Let's see which way it goes. I think it goes like this. It's so soft and luxurious. I mean, it's like I would keep it for myself, except I'm not a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan. But I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So, look at that. I love it. So, then, oh, that's everything. I thought I had a lot more stuff. I got these today. I have to get yellow ink for my printer. But you print your picture on this, and then you can iron it on. And these are good for either light or dark fabric. So like this, or if I had a darker outfit. So if anybody wants a locker room t-shirt, let me know. I'll give you a locker room t-shirt. Or Crime Search Nan t-shirt. So that's all I have today. Oh, yeah, I did. Also, I got this great big green Tupperware because a guy that, the pastor, likes Tupperware. And then this is a Tanola bird. And it's signed on the bottom. Oh, you can't see it. It's signed on the bottom. This is an antique Frigi top. It goes on a glass thing, but the glass thing isn't there. But a lot of people need these replacement tops. And then this is old Tupperware from when I was a kid. And when I bought the Tanola bird, I also bought this Tanola vase. It's a square vase. It's 13 inches tall, and it values at $77. And it is signed from K.E. I forgot what his last name is, but he signed them K.E. Mexico. So it's Tanola, and it's signed, and it values at $77. But I got it and the Tanola bird together for $15. I think I did pretty good. I just got to get Pastor Dean, who I know is doing well because I seen him. I was coming out of Walmart as he was going into Walmart this morning. So, okay, that's all I have for today. Let me see if I can go on Court TV and see. Whoops, sorry. I closed my window down. Okay, it is on. I don't know if they're actually in court. Let me pull it up. I got it. Okay. Let me get the link. It is so soft. It is so soft. You know my red blankets that I keep on my beds? It's softer than those. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. Cut it up and make jammies out of it. All right, let's pull this up.
Start at 2, so we're going to speed it up a little bit, please.
Can you hear it? Is this his attorney? Is that his public defender? Why is she laughing and smiling? This is no place to be laughing and smiling. Wasn't she the public defender for what was that little boy's name? Simon, what was his first name? You know, his mama put him in the trash can and sent him to the dump. Yeah. I think that was the same public defender. Because she did never, her hair was all messy in the back all the time. Because I remember her because I seen this girl look familiar to me too. This one over here. Quentin Simon, that was it. I wonder if this is news media in the background or if his family is there to support him. Okay, let's see if we can scoot forward a little bit. I have those in blue. Or they're white. No, they're blue. I got my winter ones. I got Butch a pair of winter ones too. And I gave them to him the day I got him because he was home. And he put them on. And he takes them off to go to bed. When he gets up, he puts on a pair of clean socks and puts them shoes right back on. He said, I love these better than the other ones. But he doesn't care for the summer ones, but he loves the winter ones. And they look his look exactly the same. Mine look different.
Please remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session.
And before we go forward with the sentencing in the Jake Haro matter, again, announcing to the public there are no use of cell phones, no recording except for the pool camera. There will be no comments about the case while the court is in session, no outbursts, and please follow the instructions given by our RSO deputies. With that, calling the matters of Jake Haro. Appearances, please.
Thank you. While I wait for Mr. Haro, he is sitting right next to me at council table. And thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Allison Lowe, also on behalf of Jake Haro.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. William Robinson for the people. Good afternoon. Brandon Smith for the people.
Thank you. And good afternoon, Mr. Haro. And this is the time and place set for sentencing. Are both sides ready to go forward at this time?
Yes.
And the court has read and considered the sentencing memorandums provided by Ms. Garthwaite and Ms. Lowe, as well as Mr. Smith and Mr. Robinson, as well as the probation report. At this time, does either side want to be heard further? Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, any victim impact statements for the court to consider?
There will be no victim impact statements.
Okay. And Ms. Garthwaite, Ms. Lowe?
Your Honor, I just wanted to very briefly reiterate the defense objection to imposing court fees and fines. Mr. Haro is indigent. He's a public defender client. I believe that the court is going to sentence him to a lengthy sentence. And prior to his arrest, he was unable to work and was receiving disability. So we would object to the court imposing any court fees and fines. If the court is going to assess a restitution fine, it is based, or the defense requests that based on the indigency, that the court set it no higher than $300, which is the minimum.
Okay. And Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, do you want to be heard in regards to that?
Yes, I'd say that while I intend to submit in large part on the sentencing memorandum by filed with the court, I do want to reiterate that while I understand the court has some discretion in this matter regarding the sentence and the fines and fees, I want to emphasize the fact that this defendant deserves no leniency in any regards as to sentence or as to fines and fees. The court is well aware of how this case began with the defendants standing in front of law enforcement and the public. And
whoa. Well, with the type of case it is and what this man did, I can agree to no leniency. I can. But to put the maximum sentence on him, oh my. We're going to get justice for, that's what this says right here. Time to get some justice.
Public panic about a child being kidnapped and the resources that were expended in order to investigate those lives of the defendant need to be addressed in this sentence as well. So I would ask that the court recognize that in deciding how much to assess the defendant in fines and fees, as well as in exercising its discretion regarding the appropriate sentence in this case.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Anything further before the court begins its sentence?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm sorry, we've had, I guess, a change of opinion. So the Emmanuel Haro's grandmother has now asked to address the court about the sentence.
Okay.
Hold on. Graduation stuff coming up. Amanda Panda. This is just come in from Jostens. Okay. It says letter jacket, holiday order deadline, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 46 seconds. Just in case you needed to know that. We're not ordering a letter jacket because CJ was not in sports, but I know you've got 3 of them to order, so.
And are you ready at this time?
Ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. And Mr. Smith, if we can have an introduction, please.
Yes, so this is Emmanuel Haro's maternal grandmother. And her first name is Mary, M-A-R-Y. And I'll have her spell her last name.
B-U-S-H-A-U-S-E-N.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you for being here today. And ma'am, I want to make sure that I hear everything that you have to say, that our court reporter can take down everything that you have to say, and that we have an accurate record. We've cleared our entire afternoon, so you don't feel the need to be rushed. So whenever you're ready, if you could speak loudly and clearly and slowly for us. But whenever you're ready.
I want Jake to look at me. I want him to face me.
And ma'am, if you can address the court.
I would like for him to face me, to look at me.
Okay.
And now, if you could speak up as loud as you can, please.
I wanted Jake to face me, to look at me, because I told him that I would be here for his sentencing before he was arrested. I talked to him about, as a friend, to tell me everything, because he didn't give me the opportunity to meet my grandson. He destroyed my whole family. He branded his children for life. He damaged all his children for life. And in doing that, he destroyed my family, my children, everybody in my family. All my children are destroyed by this. He changed my daughter over. We don't know who she is. He never gave me a chance to see my grandchildren. He kept my daughter away. I don't know what he did or how he changed my daughter's life. But she was never that same person after she went to live with him. The only reason Rebecca came back, because in March I had a stroke. And my son got hold of her and told her I was in ICU. That's how I met Mackenzie, my 2-year-old granddaughter. I didn't even know she existed. I was not aware that she was pregnant with Mackenzie. I was not aware that she was pregnant with Emmanuel. I never met Emmanuel. You know, he deprived everybody. And it has hurt my children because the media has torn all of my children apart, okay? Because they say, Grandma knows, Grandma isn't on it, Grandma doesn't know nothing. If I had known what was going on, I would have take my daughter out of there forcefully, or I would have called the police. My sons would have come and got her, okay? Never did we ever knew anything. If I had known when I called social service when Rebecca moved in, I called social service to let them know that I didn't like him. That because my granddaughter Irene was afraid. She didn't want to be there. She called me, she says, Grandma, I don't want to be there. Okay, so I called social service. I asked social service to give me a report of what had happened, what they found out. Oh no, she's fine, the house is beautiful, they have food in the fridge, that's it. Had social service come and told me what he had done to promise his other children. Nothing of this would be here. We wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. My grandchildren, Emmanuel wouldn't be gone. Mackenzie wouldn't have been born. Because he had already done a lot of horrible things to his other children. He branded those children for life. And in the same way, branded all my children too. Because I can't go nowhere without they asking me. Every time I go to the store or somebody recognizes me, they attack me, you know, on social media, everywhere. And that is not my doing or my children. This has been horrible for us. I was glad the day that got arrested because I fear for my daughter's life, I fear for everybody. And, you know, he had a second chance. My daughter didn't have a chance with him. or his children didn't have a second chance. And I think the judge that let him go should be here sitting with him. And so is social service. Because they could have told me, oh no, protocol doesn't allow us to tell you anything. Well, how are we supposed to protect our children if we don't know? The court knows what's going on. I didn't know. I called social service.
There's been a couple of times, twice that I know of, that I wasn't able to find my youngest daughter. And I knew that social services is in her life anytime she gets pregnant. I have 5 or 6 grandchildren that I've never seen. And because they were taken away from her at birth, I will probably never see. I have to live with that. I know how that woman feels. Okay? But when I can't find my youngest daughter, I call social services to try to get them, because they would know where she's supposed to be at. And I get them to do a welfare check. Then she gets mad because I called social services and opened another case on her. And she calls my youngest son, who's about to graduate high school, and tells him to tell me to stop doing that. Or she calls my sister in Arkansas and tells her to tell me to stop looking for her. At this point, we don't know if she's dead or alive. We heard a couple months back that she was dead. When I got a hold of all the police in California, in the area where she lives, I got a hold of all the police down there and the hospitals. And she hadn't been in any hospitals, and she was arrested on my older daughter's birthday, which was 2 days after her birthday. And she was released that night. So on my oldest daughter's birthday, she was alive. That's all I know. I know that July 8th, she was alive. So, but at this point, I don't know. I don't know. So I know how this woman feels, not knowing about her grandchildren.
I didn't know what he had done to his other children. And here he sits, like nothing. Somebody will give him another chance. And I don't want that. Because he didn't give his children a chance. He didn't give my daughter a chance to be happy to take care of her children, okay? My 20-year-old granddaughter, my 18-year-old granddaughter are a mess because of him. Mackenzie, it's totally changed. A little baby, a 2-year-old girl that has nothing, okay? I'm very, very stressed out, very angry at the justice system for letting this guy, giving him a chance. Who gave my grandchildren a chance, a second chance? Did CPS check? Why didn't they tell me? Oh look, this is what that guy does. He takes it out on the children, on the babies. He can't do it to a grown person. He's not man enough to do it to a man, okay? He destroys so many lives. His mom, his brother, everybody, okay? Nobody wants to be here. Nobody wanted to come and look at it. But I have to speak for my grandson and my grandchildren, and for my children too, because they're going through every hell in this world, okay?
Thank you, Mom.
I didn't mourn my grandson that he passed away. We buried him on the 5th of August, and they were saying that, oh, we probably bury Emmanuel in my grandson's, when we bury my grandson, okay? I lost my grandson on the 5th. We buried my grandson on the 5th of August. Then he calls me on the 14th of August and say that Emmanuel is kidnapped. And then my sister passes on the 17th of August. We didn't have a chance to mourn any of my sister, my grandson, my other grandson, none. Because everybody was angry at everybody because how could this happen? Why? I wish you could look at me and tell me why. He was never in my house. He knew I didn't like him. He knew I called social service, and that's why he kept my daughter away. He changed her so she couldn't have no contact with me or his brothers. Okay? Had I had not had a stroke, I would have never met McKinsey or, probably heard it on the news about Emmanuel. Okay? So don't blame my children. The media has blamed my children, everybody. The TikTokers, everybody. Grandma Mary knows. I don't know nothing, okay? And I stand here with you, asking you to give him the maximum. Because I don't want him to give him another chance. He didn't give nobody a chance. He had many chances. He had a chance, the judge gave him a second chance. The probation gave him another chance. The CPS, oh well, no, he's fine. He's got food in the fridge and the house is clean. That doesn't cut it, okay? And that's not fair to the children to let somebody out like that. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm just very, very upset and very stressed out.
And ma'am, no need to apologize. This proceeding here is for you to make your impact statement to talk about how the crime has affected you and your family. I do want to lead with, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for all the hurt that you and your family have gone through.
A lot of hurt.
And I want to thank you for being here today.
I'm here because I'm the only one that wanted to be here because my children don't even won't trust themselves to come in and talk because they're so upset, so angry at this system, what they did. How could they give him a second chance when you see the pictures of the little girl? How? That's beyond me. You get two drunk driving tickets and you go to jail or you pay a goddamn fine. And he, a slap on the hand, go and do community work. Okay? How does that happen, Your Honor? I want to know how did that happen.
Anything else, ma'am?
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, any other impact statements on behalf of the people?
No, thank you.
Ms. Garthwaite, Ms. Lowe, no impact statements on behalf of the defense?
Nothing here.
And submitting on your motion?
Yes.
Submitting on your motion?
Yes.
So the court is now going to pronounce judgment at this time. Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Smith, are you okay if I sentence on all three?
I feel like I'm a personal janitor for a 25-pound anarchist. But thankfully, we heard about ruggable, washable rugs. Now when inspiration starts...
This time, this court, having taken the defendant's plea, having read and considered the probation report, and having seen, heard, and considered the evidence and arguments of counsel at the sentencing hearing, as well as taking judicial notice of its own records, hereby pronounces the sentence as described in this order. The court imposes an aggregate sentence of 180 days and 6 years, 8 months, plus 25 years to life, and fines as specified. As I will explain shortly, the sentence of 180 days and 6 years and 8 months will be determinate. The 25 years to life is indeterminate and will be described at this time. Probation is denied. Because Mr. Haro was on probation for a felony offense at the time he committed the serious and violent offenses of murder and assault on a child under 8 causing death, he is ineligible for probation pursuant to Penal Code Section 1203. Accordingly, probation is denied. In regards to the terms of imprisonment, this case involves the imposition of determinate terms and indeterminate terms. The court will first address the indeterminate terms. I did read the briefing submitted by Ms. Lowe and Ms. Garthwaite, as well as by Mr. Smith and Mr. Robinson. For count 1, in case FERI 2504-808-1, murder in the second degree, the court imposes the only term provided by law of 15 years to life. The court notes that the amended complaint filed by the people lists the punishment for count 1 as 25 to life, which would suggest that the charge is first-degree murder, but we did have a discussion at the last hearing regarding those symptoms or that charge, and that it is in the second degree. So I want to make sure that that's clear, Mr. Smith and Ms. Lowe.
Yes, Your Honor.
Accordingly, the court orders the designation of the 25 to life stricken from the amended complaint. For count 3, in case FERI 2504-808-1, assault on a child under 8 causing death, the court imposes the only term provided by law of 25 years to life. The court finds that counts 1 and 3, in case ending in 808-1, are based on the same act. An act or omission that is punishable in different ways by different provisions of law may be punished under either of such provisions, but in no case shall the act or omission be punished under more than one provision. Accordingly, the court stays the punishment for count 1, the murder charge, pursuant to Section 654. The court declines to stay the punishment for count 3 instead of count 1, pursuant to Section 654. Mr. Haro, through his attorney, urges the court to stay the higher punishment because he acknowledged wrongdoing and pled guilty at an early stage of the criminal process, which is a mitigating factor under the rules of court. And the court does not find this to be a compelling reason to select the 15-year to life term in lieu of the 25-year to life term. While Mr. Haro did plead guilty at an early stage in the proceedings, this does not outweigh the significant and considerable aggravating factors that he has admitted to. It cannot be ignored that Mr. Haro was on probation for severely abusing one child when he decided to assault and kill another child. Further, the court notes that Mr. Haro was out on bail in 2 cases, including one for abusing his daughter when he killed baby Emmanuel. And the fact that Mr. Haro pled guilty at an early stage, while not insignificant, cannot overcome the horrific nature of the circumstances here. Given the admissions Mr. Haro himself has made with respect to the aggravating factors, accordingly, I will impose the indeterminate term of 25 years to life. Mr. Haro has also been convicted of 3 felony charges with determinate sentences. The court selects the child abuse charge, the 273A from case BAF 2101265-2 to be the principal offense. The court orders executed the previously imposed term of 6 years, which is the upper term. As will be explained, the court orders the determinate punishments to run consecutively to the punishment imposed in felony case ending in 808-1. In case BAF 2400717, Mr. Haro has pled guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm pursuant to Penal Code Section 29800 and ammunition under Penal Code Section 30305. These offenses are based on his possession of a loaded firearm, which is a single act. Accordingly, the court stays punishment for count 2, the possession of ammunition charge pursuant to Section 654. For For the firearm possession charge in count 1, I will impose a subordinate term of 8 months, which is 1/3 of the midterm, to run consecutively to the principal term. When determining whether to impose consecutive or concurrent sentences, the rules of court provide several factors for the court to consider. The factors related to the crime include whether or not, 1, the crimes and their objectives were predominantly independent of each other. 2, the crimes involved separate acts or threats of violence. Or 3, the crimes were committed at different times or separate places, rather than being committed so closely in time and place as to indicate a single period of terrible behavior. The court may also consider any aggravating or mitigating circumstances in deciding whether to impose concurrent or consecutive sentences, except that the court may not impose a consecutive sentence based on 1, a fact used to impose the upper term, or 2, a fact used to otherwise enhance the defendant's sentence, and 3, a fact that is an element of the crime. The consecutive punishments are appropriate here because the crimes and their objectives were independent of each other, involved separate acts, and were committed at different times, indeed over the course of many years. Accordingly, the court imposes all felony punishments to run consecutively to each other. Mr. Haro has also pled guilty to a misdemeanor offense of filing a false police report in count 2 and filing a case in Emmanuel. For this misdemeanor offense, the court imposes a term of 180 days to be served in any penal institution. Having imposed the terms as explained, the court hereby imposes an aggregate term of 180 days and 6 years, 8 months, plus 25 years to life in state prison. I do want to touch on my discretion in case there was any question. Looking back on this in the future, were the voters or the legislature to amend any statutes, or were there to be any decisional law in the future that would grant this court any additional discretion in sentencing and which might benefit Mr. Haro, this court would decline to exercise any such additional discretion to lower or mitigate Mr. Haro's sentence. The court has weighed and balanced all the aggravating and mitigating factors in this case and considered all circumstances such that the court believes the current sentence.
That means he can't even file for appeal later. And I think it's like in the Kohberger case. Brian Kohberger pled guilty so that he didn't have to tell his side of the story. He said it was so he could avoid the death penalty. But it was because he didn't want to have to tell his side of the story. Mr. Haro here pled guilty, and he doesn't have to tell where baby Emmanuel is. He's already buried. Nobody knows where. So nobody knows where to give him a headstone. That poor baby.
Is just and appropriate. Mr. Haro's conduct and culpability in the offense against his own children lead the court to conclude that Mr. Haro's sentence today is fully justified without future downward modification, even should the legislature provide such discretion. In regards to the fines, the court will impose a restitution fine of $10,000. The court finds the maximum fine is appropriate given the number of felonies the defendant was convicted of and the number of years he is being ordered to serve. The court imposes the parole revocation restitution fine in the amount of $10,000 as well. This fine is stayed unless and until parole is revoked. I will impose.
So he has to pay $20,000 while he's in prison. How's he going to do that? Because if you get a job in the prison, you only get 12 to 15 cents a day for working.
The court security fees, as well as the penalties. The court additionally imposes the state penalty of $10 for every $10, or part of $10 upon every fine imposed. The state penalty assessment of 20% of the base fine, the court operations assessment of $40 for each conviction, and the court facilities assessment of $30 for each conviction. Ms. Lowe, I will take note of your request under Duenas, and at this time those fines and fees will be imposed, but stay the execution pursuant to Duenas. In regards to restitution, the court orders victim restitution to be paid in any amount that may be determined in the future. Mr. Haro is also ordered to pay interest at a rate of 10% per annum, accruing as of October 12th of 2018 in case BAF ending in 265, as of July 27th, 2024 in BAF ending in 171.
He's charging him interest all the way back to the first child. Clear back to 2018 to the first child. He's got to pay interest on that $20,000 for all that back time. Oh my goodness. That man ain't never going to get his fines paid.
And as of August 14, 2025, in felony case ending in 808-1. Mr. Haro is hereby advised the restitution orders shall be enforceable as if they were civil judgments. Mr. Haro, I'm going to advise you of the following at this time. You are advised of your right to appeal. The notice of appeal must be filed within 60 days after the rendition of the judgment or the making of the order being appealed.
So he can
appeal. You are also advised that if you are indigent, you are entitled to appointment of counsel upon request. Sir, I'm also advising you of your requirement to provide buccal swab samples, right thumbprints, and a full palm print impression of each hand and any blood specimens or other biological samples. Sir, also advising you that as a result of these convictions, you are prohibited from owning, purchasing, receiving, possessing, or having under your custody or control any firearms, ammunition, or body armor. You are also ordered to relinquish any firearms. Sir, I'm advising you, and I went over this at your plea, that if you are not a citizen of the United States, these convictions will have the consequence of deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, and denial of naturalization pursuant to federal law. You're also advised that at the expiration of the term of...
Do you think there's a Kennedy curse?
Because if parole is granted, the period of parole shall be for 3 years. Now, sir, going over your credits, and Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, I believe we went over these this morning, but just want to make sure that I have the correct credits. Sir, in BAF case ending in 017, you have credits of 72 plus 72 for a total of 144 days. Mr. Smith, Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, do you agree?
Yes.
In case ending in 265, your banning case, you have credits for 167 days actual plus 166 days 4019 for a total of 333.
Yes.
And lastly, sir, in the case, your newest case ending in 808, your Riverside case, you have credits of 74 days actual plus 0 days good time credit for a total of 74 days.
Yes.
So to reiterate the final disposition, Mr. Haro, you are hereby sentenced to serve 180 days and 6 years, 8 months to terminate. You are ordered to serve 25 years to life in the state prison for the child abuse perpetrated against CH, for unlawfully possessing a firearm and ammunition after having been convicted of such a heinous crime, and for the senseless assault and murder of baby Emmanuel. While no sentence can possibly vindicate the loss of innocence and life at the hands of Mr. Haro, the man who was supposed to protect these precious and defenseless children against evil and harm, the sentence here is the most the court can do to ensure that as much justice is done as possible. To that end, the court imposes the aforementioned terms of imprisonment, fines, and penalties in a assessments. And I will be filing a written order of today's sentence. Anything else at this time before I sentence him or order him transported forthwith? Ms. Lowe or Ms. Garthwaite?
No, thank you for that. I have a point of clarification, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just wanted to inquire, it's my understanding that the court did impose the $10,000 restitution fine that stayed that person in, yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson?
Nothing further.
Thank you. And at this time, Mr. Haro, I am going to order that you are transported forthwith by the Department of Corrections for housing in the state prison. And Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, before you leave, there was an issue that we had kicked over to today's date in regards to the violation of probation and the subpoenaed documents. Mr. Robinson, Mr. Smith, Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, how would you like to proceed with those documents?
It's my request that be put over to the January 21st FSC date. I did tell defense counsel for Mr. Haro that I would notify them. I'd like to address who has standing to object to those on that particular day.
Anytime that third-party documents are subpoenaed to the court, there's a procedure where the court has to determine if there's good cause and conduct an in-camera hearing, and that's with or without an objection. But I already did object to the release and asked that the court follow that process at the last court proceeding. If the court would like me here in January to make that same record, I'm happy to do so.
So you made the record. It was my understanding that there might be a request that those documents were not needed. So we'll continue the matter to January 21st. I'll note your objection. In between now and then, I'll review the documents for materiality. Mr. Smith, if you can let me know if you plan to continue to use those documents. If you're not going to use the documents, then I will not review them and we'll keep them downstairs. But if they are going to be released, I will review them for materiality.
Based on my limited understanding of what's in those documents, I do believe it's possible. I would like to use them, so I asked the court to review them.
Okay, so I'll review them by the next court date, and then Ms. Lowe and Mr. Smith will have further conversations, and we'll figure out, Ms. Lowe, if it's necessary for you to appear on that January 21st date, as well as you, Ms. Garthwaite. Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Haro has some paperwork to take back with him. And so we want to make sure, I don't think that we ever made an order that he could have paperwork transported back and forth.
I'll make an order that he be allowed to transport his legal paperwork to and from court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, court in recess now. Can I have a step outside, please?
Camera. Okay. So he was sentenced 25 years to life plus all that other. So from what I figured out, he's got like, if he only gets the 25 years because of good behavior or what have you, he still has 31 years to spend with the other charges and everything too. So, and we still don't know where baby, but Rebecca still has to be charged and go to court because she pled not guilty. So she still has to go to court. So we may find out in her court where baby Emmanuel is. It's possible. I'm going to keep my eye on her case. I don't follow this one too close because it is so triggering, but I will keep an eye on her case and see if she will, if I find out that the world can find out where baby Emmanuel is, I'll let you know. All right. I thank everybody for being here. Do something nice for someone, even if it's be the reason that they smile today, and search for crime. Have a good night.